Alrighty guys, good night guys, how are you guys doing today guys? Great, amazing. So here's your voice guys, back with another banger, back with another video. In this video, this video is actually not going to be about solving a Rubik's Cube, that's going to be next episode. But I've kind of like been thinking, okay, well in between certain Rubik's Cube, because some of you guys may think, oh no, but like doing too many Rubik's Cube tutorials might be boring, right? So what I've been thinking is like, always like, I will think, 'cause again, this channel of YouTube called Luis the Expert, obviously, you know the channel. It's not just going to be about learning certain skills, it's also going to be related to like certain life lessons and stuff like that. So today I wanted to kind of bring up a very special video that's related to school content. So a lot of you guys entering high school, right? Or maybe in high school right now, you may be asking yourself, exactly, what do you need in order to be able to be a successful high school student? And there are going to be a couple of tips that I think you guys should be good. I think that in my humble opinion, there's really only 5 tips you need in order to be able to be successful in high school. And in my humble opinion, the first tip that I think is very important when you're a high school student is, once again, don't stress. The main reason why I think it's very important for other people not to stress in high school is because stressing, well, first of all, stressing is not a good thing. I mean, I get stressed myself sometimes, but usually that makes me sick, so you don't really want to get sick when you're stressed. Because it's high school. So high school is not going to be lasting forever. In fact, you may just want to end up doing the opposite of what you think you should be doing. A lot of times you may feel overwhelmed by the homeworks and the kinds of activities that they give you at school. I get it. And usually, the tougher the classes you take, the more homework you get. So the problem with that is a lot of people say, oh no, because I got a lot of homework, I got a lot of things going on. They can't really quite learn how to manage their time wisely because they're always stressed, right? So there's more times than not, they eventually stress, but don't really, but the problem is if they do that, they can't really quite enjoy the essential happy moments that they have. So again, try not to stretch, try to learn how to take some relaxation, relax yourself, stretch more every single day. Stretching helps a lot with stressing. Breathe, most importantly, and also take it easy because it's high school, and high school is not going to last forever. Like, by the time you finish high school, you'll look back and you'll be like, you know what, the whole time I was complaining about being stressed by the assignments, the tests, and everything. I was complaining about everything. But eventually, it didn't really matter because it wasn't going to last forever. And if you'll look back, and not only did it not last forever, it also lasted for a very short period of time. Which brings me back to step 2. Step 2, brings me to better word choice. I'll be taking the SAT. I'm a junior, by the way, so I'll be taking the SAT. I think usually the SAT testings are going to be like, I think they're usually in March. So, in fact, I'm taking like a PSAT this week. So, wish me luck on it. You gotta have like a lot of testing on there. So I gotta kind of get better with my word choice. So I do the best we can. Again, that's all we can do. Do the very best we can. So, the next tip that I think you guys should know, it's not really related to this tip specifically, but it's still kind of related to stressing, just not with load or having to do so much work. Step number 2 is actually related to fitting in. A lot of times when we get older, we see the way other people look at us, and sometimes we think we have to fit in order to be able to be accepted by certain people. However, I want you guys to know 2 things. There is have you heard the word belonging? Yeah, have you heard the word to fit in? Those are two different things. To fit in means that you have to change essential parts of your own self in order for other people to accept who you are. But to belong means that you are in a place where you can be whoever you want and you won't be judged for it. People will accept you exactly how you are. They're not going to judge you for it. They're not going to really argue they're not going to argue with you for that. You can be whoever you want, right? That's exactly what belonging means. And in my humble opinion, that is the best choice to make. Belong in a place where you belong. See, even I said the word belong right there. It's way more meaningful. If you are surrounded with people who want you to change who you are and say, oh, you have to be, I don't like who you are, you have to change yourself, that person is not a friend. Because real friends will accept you for who you are, no matter who you are. Does that make sense? People will always accept you for who you are. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us special. And it's something that lives among different individuals. Like it lives like among each and every single individual in this planet Earth, is the fact that we're all unique and special. So don't ever worry about being somebody else. Even if that person is defined as cool, there is nothing cooler and more beautiful than being yourself. That's the only thing I can say. Just be yourself. Don't try to change who you are to impress anybody. And if other people can't see that, you don't have to worry about them. You just ignore them. Move on with your life. And also accept positive people who like you, not for what they think you should be, right? Because there's no answer to that. So, the next thing that brings me to lesson number 3 is the fact that it's basically what hard work means. Hard work. When you get to high school, one of the most important things that you are going to learn, and it's kind of related to step number 1, but it's the positive side of hard work, is the fact that it's very important for you as an individual to work very hard if you want to be successful in high school. There is still a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work that you are going to have to put in when you get to high school, because in high school really, what I think, and not only in high school, but way before that, what I think they've been teaching like every single student all over the years, including you, is the fact that hard work is very important. And if you want to get something done, you have to work for it. Even if you have people helping you around, which is important, in my humble opinion, even if you have people helping you around, it's still very important for you to work hard, because no better hard work comes from the one that comes from within, right? It's better than the one that comes from within, is what I'm trying to say. So you as an individual have to find a place in your heart where you can be like, no, I'm going to lock in, like they say it nowadays, and then I'm going to work hard and I'm going to put in effort for the things I want to achieve, right? So you got to put in the effort. If you don't put in the effort, you're going to not be successful, and yeah, you're just going to not be successful, really. But you gotta put in the effort, really, especially in high school. They're going to demand you to really sort of like put in a lot of effort. And if you're not necessarily somebody entering high school, somebody who's been in high school for a while, that can still apply to you. Again, this video is for everybody who wants feedback, right, on what can they do to really be successful in high school. And right now, I'm giving you step 3 over that. I'm giving you 3 steps, all right? But so this one is really about hard work and dedication. Work hard. Again, don't listen to anybody. Focus on you and you only. And then thrive every single day. But don't stress, though. Don't stress. Because you'll have low moments. Even if you worked hard but failed tomorrow, it doesn't matter. Life keeps going. You will eventually have to still work anyway, right? I won today. It's kind of like Kobe Bryant. If you guys know who Kobe Bryant was. He was like a basketball player in the NBA. It's actually my favorite basketball player ever. I'm a basketball fan, so believe it or not, this video will also be related to basketball content. And there's going to be some sort of like video film, so I kind of really want you guys to stay tuned for that. But the way I'm kind of like going to establish videos is I'm going to be dividing every single video into like different series. So right now we're doing the Rubik's Cube series. And then I think next series is going to be about basketball, pretty sure. There will also be a workout series where we go to the gym, we do all sorts of workouts, and I kind of show you guys exactly what my workout routine is and all those sorts of things, right? But I don't know if that's going to be next series. I think next series is going to be basketball. I just want you guys to know the basketball series is very long, so for the most part, this channel is going to be about basketball and all those things. But it's also going to be related to SAT prep. So if you guys also want to kind of like are trying to get ready for the SAT, but you don't know where to start, this is the place for you. Okay, so I don't know. If you just like, let me know in the comments down below. After we are done with the Rubik's Cube series, which series do you want me to do next? The basketball series or the SAT prep series? I don't know. You're the one who knows. You gotta let me know down in the comments below. So getting back to this step, right? Is the fact that that's lesson 3, but lesson 4 is, I think it's the one that's also going to be very important. I basically just mentioned it a couple of seconds ago, or 1 or 2 minutes ago. It's the fact that you're going to be successful sometimes and you are going to succeed. Now, everything kind of goes back to lesson 1. So why you can't stress. If you fail, if you got a bad grade on something, or if you got a good grade on something, don't stress about it. Because it's part of the process. And usually you may realize that the tougher, like from my own experience, the tougher the classes that I have taken, the more I have really quite been able to, the tougher the classes that I think I have taken, the more it made me realize that the process is really the only thing that defines the journey, not necessarily the outcome. Along the way, you will have moments where you are going to fail and where you are going to be able to stay low. But not only because you fail, well, technically failure is the recipe for success, because it's where you know what you did wrong. It lets you know you got to fix something, and that's where you start making things right. So that way you make sure you don't fail again. And if you do it again, it doesn't matter. You're going to try it again to make it better, right? And that's the thing. Is in life you can fail 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, 100 times, thousands of times, millions of times. I don't know. But you got to trust the journey. You got to trust the process. And I promise you, as long as you put in effort in school, you will be fine. You'll be fine because your teachers are not just always looking for you to always do great on the exams. Now, you also have to kind of contribute to that grade, right? Try to get good grades always. But just know that if you're struggling, that's fine. As long as you put in effort, all the assignments you do, you're gonna be fine, okay? And putting in effort and still getting bad grades at times is way better, way too many times better than cheating and not doing any work. Because some people cheat and like to take the easy way. They don't take the hard way. They like to take the easy way. And what ends up happening is they think they feel. But let me tell you, my friend, that the tougher classes you take, the tougher the classes that you take are, the less you may want to do that. Again, don't cheat. But it's like they say. It sounds cliche, but it's like they say. If you cheat, you'll never get ahead. I'm a Dhar Mann fan. So if you watch Dhar Mann, you'll find videos that kind of say that. So, step number 5 is going to be the last one. So, step number 5 is going to basically be sort of like related to basically as to, well, it's more of like what they call that? It's more of like a fact rather than just a lesson that I will give. And the reality about that is many times the high schoolers will find themselves in situations, from my own experience as a high school student, I will hear a lot of my classmates telling their teachers, and I've had teachers before where a lot of classmates say, but this teacher doesn't know how to teach, right? And they argue that some teachers don't know how to teach well. And many times, it happens to where the teachers don't always teach well, but they still expect the students to do well. In my humble opinion, what lesson number 5 is basically stating is don't make yourself responsible. Don't assume responsibilities that don't belong to you. Do not assume that you failed because it's only your fault. Many times it ends up happening where students don't end up getting the grades that they want because the teacher did not explain well in the lesson, and that is totally understandable. I personally think it can sometimes sound very unfair that teachers want you to get a good grade on the exam despite them not being the best teachers. And many times sometimes they do make kind of people think is when you're in high school, they see you as more like an older person. They want you to be more independent. But in my humble opinion, if you think from your own perspective that the teacher doesn't necessarily have to stop teaching only because we are older now, I completely agree with that. Because in my humble opinion, I think what truly makes a good teacher is somebody who teaches no matter who the student is. If the student needs help, they have to be willing to teach. Yes, the student does have to become responsible, but the teacher doesn't have to stop teaching only because they think the student's smart. Oh yeah, they're smart, they can figure it out. No, they're human beings also. And it's totally okay for that student to be able to ask you any sorts of questions that they may have. Right? So again, in my humble opinion, teachers don't ever have to stop teaching. Okay? Again, you do your job as a student and you do your job as your teacher. Don't put all the blame on yourself because you thought you did bad. You did everything, I promise you, I know you did everything you could. I know you gave everything you had. Sometimes it is a teacher's responsibility, right? But what I eventually have learned from some of my classmates, you kind of learn these things from your classmates, is the fact that they don't really quite let these things affect them. Right? Because at the end of the day, you can't really change whether or not that teacher is good or bad. Eventually, you'll find your way towards it. You'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to figure out a few ways in which I can teach myself more effectively, right? If your teacher is not teaching well, I can probably find a couple of ways. And what can I do to really kind of do better in the class? Really like that sort of thing. But I think the good beneficial part about not always having good teachers is the fact that it gives you more time to kind of figure things out on your own. And that's where you can really see what you are really capable of. You are capable of doing, you'll be like, hey, I can do a lot more things, right? I'm finding out that I can do things that I would have never thought possible, right? So that is always a very good thing to do. And yeah, that's it. That is basically all the lessons that I got. So before I end the video, guys, I just kind of want you guys to really please, I want to ask you guys to really please, ring the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you got any, if you thought the video was cool, make sure you show it to your friends, to your family, to your loved ones, to whoever, so that they can, hear these things, these important things. And if they want to learn new life skills like solving a cube, tying a shoe, juggling 3 balls, all those things, I got all those videos here on my list. So far, I only have one tutorial, and where I teach how to solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. But the next video is going to be about how to solve a 4x4 Rubik's Cube. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that video, okay? If you by now have become a 3x3 expert, that's great. So again, just make sure you're tuned. If you want to learn how to solve the 4x4, make sure you stay tuned, all right? But please subscribe to the channel, please. Right now we're at 12 subscribers, and hopefully the goal by the end, it is September. Today is September 29, 2025. So actually, September 29, 2025. So by the end of and we're really approaching, yes, we are kind of approaching, we're not too far from 2026. So I want to please ask you guys that please by the end of 2026, let's go ahead and get all the way to 50 subscribers. Please, let's pray so we can get all the way to 50 subscribers by the very end of the year. I'm not hoping for much. You may realize, oh no, she'll be able to get all the way to 1,000K. But I'm gonna be humble, and I get it. The quality of the videos hasn't been the best one, but I promise you guys that eventually, that the quality of the videos will get better. So please, let's try to reach at least 50 subscribers by the very, 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 very end of the year. Let's get those views up, and that's all I have to say. Without further ado, without anything else to say, I hope you guys have a great day. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.